Okay. So, Apex property in the sense like where we don't define any function. So we just simply say while call of Apex parameters, Apex method with the
Yes.
parameters. And in return, what we'll be getting? We'll getting a variable. It's nothing but your property, which have both data and error.
Huh.
The same way, if we go into the other way around, like while function, so here we explicitly handle what is error data and what is right data.
Yes.
Just having a function of data, comma, error, which have a two parameters, and that whenever there is an error, then data will be blank or undefined and error will pop up. So this way you can customize your server call actions or wire call actions. The other way around we have is imperative. What is imperative? Imperative is something based on the user actions like a button click or any such as if you want to do your Apex classes regular interval of times, then you can implement as a imperatively of using like you have to export all your methods whatever you did it, and you have to call then dot then. So we dot then will be having a results. Let's say if I go into the LWC Apex, here you can see this is imperative calling. Here we handle user is our method name, and I define my parameters. Property type of params. What is property type? Here. Whatever the import statement I mentioned, I'll be using that import method name and I'm passing parameters. When I have a results, then in the then method I will be having a results and catch methods I will be having an error. So you can serialize even by adding another dot then. And you can do your rest of the actions after this process. So you can chain the reaction, chain the calling your Apex classes, right? Clear? Any questions? Now let's say, let me go to the header component. Here we are in header component, right? So now what I need to do, here I need to pass my Aura attribute. Aura attribute in the sense, I need to pass an information from parent to child. Till now we never saw how to pass information from parent to child like we have in Aura components, isn't it? So what I need to do, here I need to call another attribute, another Aura attribute by passing message from parent. This need to display within the component. Clear? Understood what I'm trying to say here?
Again, can you repeat?
I wanted to see in Aura components what we'll be doing. We'll be passing in a way that we'll be passing something like C colon child, and here I'd say parent name equal to v dot, right? We will be passing this way, isn't it?
Huh.
Info type. So what it is saying, we are passing info type value to a parent name which is there in the child attribute, isn't it? The
Yes.
same way I am expecting to pass in Lightning Web Components. How to pass in Lightning Web Component? Because what is the difference between Aura component and Lightning component when it comes to this one? In Aura components, we will be having an attribute. In Lightning component, we doesn't have any attributes, isn't it? In Aura components, we have Aura attributes, isn't it? Aura attribute.
Yes.
And we have a name and we have a type and we'll define all these variable names inside Aura attribute. But in Lightning Web Components, do we find any Aura attributes?
No input, output.
No input, output. So now what we can do, let's create one simple parent. I'm just creating one simple parent. Let's say Command Shift P, SFDX, create Lightning Web Components, I'll say. Before to that, let's jump into create new branch from LWC parent to child. And I'm cloning from master directly. So I have my branch created. Control Shift P, SFDX, create component, parent child. Parent, I'll say parents LWC. This is my parent component. Okay. And I'll also call my HTML. And then I'll create one more component called child component. Child LWC. Child LWC and HTML. So let's get deploy this. Just deploy this first. Deploy, and I'll go to my header. I'm just placing these components first, and then you can see my header CMP HTML. Okay, and that BR. How to call C hyphen parent hyphen LWC, right? This also, let's get deploy. Hey Avinash. So let it get deployed. Am I audible, guys? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me go to LWC. So here in HTML, I'll say H1. I'm coming from parent to child. Example. Parent to child example. So we have here, and these are the properties that we discussed. Refresh. I'm coming from parent to child, and one more update. Developer.salesforce.com site has been modified. It's been more developer friendly to find something you needed. Okay, it's become like too interactive. Before it was different. Now it become like a very different documentation. You don't have any drop down anymore. So lightning components. So let's click on lightning components. So you'll be going to the lightning. Before and all, you have a drop down. Now it's been updated and it's like this. And we have a card from here, lightning card. I'm just copying from my basic card. I don't need any advanced card example here. Copy my templates. Command A, Command C. I'll replace here and title I'll say parent to child example. And here I can say call child. And let it be. And whatever here I have, right? Here I'll call my child component. What is my child component name? C hyphen child hyphen LWC. Using API can be expose your properties and methods outside of the LWC. So with this statement, you understood what is gonna happen, right? So what we'll be using now? We have to use @ API. @ no module C dot. Okay, this is not deployed. Okay, deploy. Clear. Deploy. Perfect.
Deepak, since it is a branch, you give an LWC. If it is only single one, means you will give the name JavaScript.
Here, this one.
Yeah, LWC you given, right?
So
Child.
I'm just creating one internal folder within my repository just to keep all LWC components in one place.
Okay.
This is a folder structure. You can simply say parent to child, but I just wanted to ensure like it was splitted with a LWC folder.
Okay.
This way you can easily identify related to which components. Now you are here. So what I mean, why we had that? So let's say GitHub. Sign in. Seriously, it is asking me to log in. Oh, 1 minute, I'm just getting my 135 6 7. Let's go to Git. Learn today. Or if I go to branches, here you can see just a branch name of LWC. By seeing itself, you will understand, right? This example is from LWC. The only reason behind LWC is just this, nothing else. No other reason behind it. Why I'm giving LWC slash. Okay.
Okay.
This is just for a naming conventions that I'm using. So this is nothing to do anything with technically. And moreover, let's go and check out our example. So we are seeing like parent to child and child call method. And now what I'll be doing, I'll be creating one property here. So you need to say @API and I'll say message child. Whenever you are using API, it's showing an error. See, to learn invalid decorator using supported API wire tracker should be imported from LWC. So whenever you are using API, it should be imported from LWC. So let's say comma API imports. Done. Save. And here I'll say this message is from parent. This message is from parent. So what is my message here? Message child, right? This message is from parent. Let's get deploy. And what is the property that I'm using? Message child. Let's go here. Let's go here. So here, as I mentioned, whenever you have a capital letter, it should be replaced with hyphen small case, right? Yes or no? To child example. So I'm passing my event data hard coded. We'll see dynamically. First, we'll check it out how hard code works. Refresh the component. Now you got parent to child example. It is assigning a variable, isn't it? Right? Any feedbacks, please?
Yes, Deepak, we understand.
Now you can see the data is assigning for here. Parent to child. This is an example. So what I am expecting here, I should be having an input variable here. My example here is, I'm thinking to create one input variable. I'm thinking to create one input field. Whatever I type here, if I say here typing, then this typing should come here. Then this typing should come here. Clear? So instead of I assign hard coded, so whenever I type, that value should be updated in the below part. Clear? By let's say I'll add one more field here. I'll add one more column. Whatever I type here, that type should update in the child component. Clear? Any question on this? What we are going to get now?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's see an example for that. So you remembered earlier, let's say I have input field. I'll define my input field here. Lightning, Lightning, lightning hyphen input type equal to text, label equal to, otherwise instead of label I'll say placeholder, just placeholder type here, and data hyphen my hyphen id equal to input type, and then value equal to, okay, my bad, you shouldn't be doing that. Alright, single line you cannot close. Deploy. So whenever I type anything here, let's say typing. Whenever I take typing, then this message should be updated, right? That's the expectation, isn't it? For that, what we need to do, we need to handle on change. There is an event called on change. We need to pass our controllers, right? We need to handle this event change, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Message updated. Command C. Let's go to parent component. So I'm saying command V of event. So how can you read a value? Any guesses? Any references you have how to read a value?
Yes.
We implemented
event.target.
value, or either you can also say template.query selector, and you can use query selector also. There is another option, 2 ways that you can do, which is we explained in my header CMP file, right? So event.target.value and this.query template and your lightning input data hyphen my hyphen id. Instead of my input, what is there here? Input type, right?
Yes.
Same thing. So for now, I'm just checking event.target.value. I'm just picking up event.target.value. Value. Let data value equal to event. This is fine, but how can you pass this dynamic value to your parent component, child component, message child? You need to pass to this place, right? How can you do that? It's very simple. Let's define another ID, hyphen my hyphen ID equal to child LWC. I'm just defined. So the query selector is not just input fields. You can even query selector even for these fields. Okay, you got it?
Yes, sir.
So query selector is not just that. Query selector you can write for anything in the LWC. But only the difference is that you need to replace. Instead of lightning component, you need to replace with child LWC. C-hyphen child LWC. And this is the same input. And you will be talking about your ID will be replaced. Your ID will be replaced. Instead of value, what you needed here? Instead of value, what you needed? Message chain. Only in HTML you can't keep capital letter, but rest all you can update it. And I'll say this dot data hyphen value. Clear? Any questions? Deploy. So what I have done, we are reading with the event.target value. With a query selector, you can able to query the child component and you are assigning to message child. Let's go back and refresh. I am. Now you are getting? Tell me what should I
Yes.
do? You're getting, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So understand one thing. Now there is other one. So like dynamically we are updating through parent to child. Okay, whenever you are assigning a field that you are trying to update. What is this call child method? In Aura components, we have a concept called calling a child method from a parent component, right? By defining Aura method. You can call your child method from parent component in Aura components. You have Aura method initiated by calling that Aura method, calling a child component action controller, right?
Yeah, child component we call this.
Yes. Now, the same thing we can do from here. I'll define one function in my parent child component. Let's say API show me message. There is a component called show me message, and I'll say event, and I'll say alert your message is. Instead of this, I'll say string. Is it possible to define a string? I'm just checking. Okay, I don't define any data type. We can simply say value str, and your message is, I need to say this one value str. But this method I will not directly call from here. I will not directly call from here. Deploy this to source arc, and I will go to my parent LWC. Here I will define my call child method. I'll say event, and I'll say let data value. Here I'll not able to use event because the event here is different. Earlier the event within the field, so I can get a value based on the event. But this time my event is there in the get child method. This is different, right? If I say event.target.value, it will not come from input. It will come something else, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
So what I need to use? I need to use query selector, no doubt. Without any doubt, I need to use query selector. And this will go as lightning input. This will go as lightning input. And what is my ID here? My ID is input type. And from here, what I need? I need a value. I got my value. Then I need to query even my child component now. Because that where I have my method, isn't it? Dot, what is your method name here? Show message. Call that method directly and pass your argument. What is your argument here? Data value. Clear? And finally, we need to bind this function with the button action. So what is your button action here? Slot actions, and I'll say on click equal to your child component. Deploy. Now let's go back and refresh. Now I'll say Lakshmi Deepak, call child. You are getting your message is Lakshmi Deepak. Where we have alert? Alert we have in the child component, isn't it? and we are calling the child component from the parent component. Clear? Any questions?